Hey, good afternoon. As we get to 4 o'clock on this Thursday afternoon, we appreciate you watching us. I'm Tom Green.
And I'm Jennifer Meckles. We start tonight with some active weather we're tracking. A day with a tornado warning already in Washington County. A viewer shared this picture north of Akron showing just the very faintest of funnel clouds. We do not know very many details about this spot right now. Here's a live look from out east near Ray. We are seeing some sunny skies, but a big storm cell in the distance. That tornado watch in northeast Colorado will last into the night. Plus, there's a threat of large hail.
Well, we'll be checking in with Corey Reppenhagen there. Kathy's with us now, and 'tis the season, of course, Kathy. Could be an active night for many Coloradans.
Yes, and these thunderstorms, Tom, could go into the wee hours of the morning. Our Corey Reppenhagen, boots on the ground. He's storm chasing for us out right under the action. One tornado warning, as Jenny mentioned, and that was in Washington County for a cell that was just southwest of the town of Akron, moving toward the northeast really quickly at 35 miles per hour. We're seeing these storms move into a tornado watch area in the orange here that will extend out through 9 o'clock tonight. In that Washington County severe thunderstorm warned area and tornado warned area, it was a landspout over rural areas confirmed by spotters in the area and our Corey Reppenhagen, who's on the ground out there as well. A new severe thunderstorm warning now out for Akron. The cell just southwest of Akron, moving really quickly toward the northeast, has a hail signature with it, a lot of lightning, a lot of wind, and we're also looking at a little bit of activity close to the metro area. Thunderstorms coming in from the southwest, tracking north. Not severe, but rain, thunder, lightning, the potential for small hail certainly there. And we're seeing a pocket of lightning up near Platteville, Longmont, some heavy rain outside of Broomfield and Arvada, extending out to Brighton. If you have travel plans in or out of the airport, because the storms are so close to DIA, call ahead and plan ahead, as this will be an active evening of weather. This second cell that we're tracking may indeed go into that tornado watch area with signs of rotation. We haven't seen that yet, but certainly the ingredients are there for an active afternoon. The warned cells in the Burlington area tracked east into Nebraska and Kansas. There are only one severe thunderstorm warning right now that we're watching in and around the Akron area, but this will continue to be a very active evening. Storm Prediction Center has northeastern Colorado in that slight to marginal risk for strong storms, large hail, and isolated tornadoes. Denver not included in this as we speak. Temperatures have been warm today, enough to get this activity going for us. And as we move through the evening, temperatures will come down a bit, but we're looking at some good rain in Denver tonight and another storm that will bring heavy mountain snow. You guys, we have so much to talk about in weather. That's coming up.
All right, Kathy, thanks. And also add this in. Maybe so you saw some of this heavy smoke west of Boulder today. That's because the U.S. Forest Service was doing a prescribed burn. This was just west of Gross Reservoir. Crews have been doing burns throughout the month. Of course, that means firefighters are trying to eliminate those dry fuels that are out there.
We are now 10 hours into jury deliberations for a former Clear Creek County deputy who shot and killed a young man. The jury still hasn't decided if Andrew Buin should be held criminally responsible.
Now, there were several police body cameras recording that night when Buin did shoot and kill Christian Glass. It was June of 2022. The question for the jury, though, is whether his actions that night were excessive and unreasonable. 9 News reporter Steve Stager has been covering this case from the very beginning and is live with us from Clear Creek County with the latest. Steve?
Yeah, Tom, we actually just got word from the court that the jury will require another day of deliberations. They are going to go until 4:45 today and they'll be back tomorrow. This jury has been incredibly thorough throughout this trial, taking very copious notes all throughout the testimony. They even asked a lot of questions of the witnesses on the stand, and they will now help write the final chapter in a nearly 2-year-long story that has dramatically changed a family's life and this county. The day after Andrew Buin shot and killed Christian Glass in June of 2022, his former employer put out a one-page press release. They said the man who had been shot was argumentative, armed himself with a knife, and officers had tried to bring the situation to a peaceful resolution. 3 months later, we learned what really happened.
He had done nothing wrong. He was just too scared to get out of his car.
9 News was the first station to show you the body camera video that showed Glass had called 911 for help.
My vehicle got stuck.
And Buin badgered him.
I will break the window. Step out of the car.
to get out of his car for the better part of an hour, refusing to let Christian throw the knives he had in the car out the window.
No, do not throw them out. Do not touch them. Do not reach for them.
Then Buin broke the window. When a frightened Glass picked up a knife, Buin shot him with beanbag rounds, tased him. Then when Glass made a motion toward a fellow officer, Buin fired 5 shots, killing Glass, the only officer on scene who fired.
He trusted the police to come and help him. Instead, they attacked and killed him.
A couple of months later,
it's People versus Andrew Buin and Kyle Gould.
A Clear Creek County grand jury indicted Andrew Buin with second-degree murder and his supervisor, Kyle Gould, with criminally negligent homicide. In May of last year, Christian's parents, Simon and Sally Glass, won the largest police misconduct settlement in state history, $19 million.
We want to begin to start celebrating his life.
It includes some non-economic terms, like establishing a mental health response team in Clear Creek County. It also required an apology from the agencies involved. The Clear Creek County Sheriff at the time wrote that his officers, quote, failed to meet expectations on the call.
The board does not believe that the sheriff has adequately accepted responsibility.
The lackluster apology led his fellow elected leaders to call him out and for Sheriff Rick Albers to suddenly retire. Clear Creek County hired a reformer to fill the rest of his term. In November, Buin's supervisor Gould pleaded guilty to a lesser charge, failure to intervene. And the day after he agreed to give up his police certification, the DA in Clear Creek County charged the 6 other officers on scene that night with the same charge. Their cases are still pending, like the fate of the deputy who pulled the trigger as a jury continues to deliberate. What's very interesting is that throughout this 10 hours now of deliberations, the jury has not come out of the jury room to ask a question, which is a typical thing that we see in jury deliberations in cases like this. Though the judge did meet with the prosecution and the defense behind closed doors twice today. Buin was in the room for both of those meetings. Unclear what they were talking about at the time. We do know the jury will return to the courtroom here at 4:45, where the judge will remind them they're not to talk about this case to anyone when they go home until they come back here tomorrow morning and begin their jury deliberations all over again. For now, we're live outside the Clear Creek County Courthouse. Steve Steger, 9 News.
Well, Steve, there's so much in the balance here, of course, for Andrew Buin, but also for the Glass family and so many other people who followed this case closely to have these deliberations continue for another day with everyone thinking what may come from that jury room.
And Tom, you can see the supporters of the Glass family all around town. If you move around the small town of Georgetown, there are people who are wearing pink. That was Christian's favorite color. There are a lot of people here. In fact, during closing arguments, the courtroom, the small courtroom here in Clear Creek County was full. Very few seats left over. So you imagine a lot of interest in this case. And anywhere you go in town, people know what happened in Silver Plume 2 years ago. They know about this shooting. They want to know what's going to happen to the deputy who was involved in it.
All right, Steve, thanks for the update from Georgetown.
Yep.
Today marks 5 years since a fiery crash killed 4 people on I-70. Back in 2019, a semi-truck driving that was speeding down the highway. The driver lost his brakes and did not use the runway truck ramp that was available. He later slammed into stopped traffic near Denver, West Parkway, and Lakewood. 4 people were killed in that crash. 10 others were hurt. In total, 24 vehicles and 4 semis were involved in that pileup. The driver, Rohel Aguilera Maderos, was convicted of 27 counts, including vehicular manslaughter.
And he was originally sentenced to more than 100 years in prison in 2021. But after that sentencing, the case drew nationwide attention, prompting an online petition as well as rallies we saw at the state capitol. In all, nearly 5 million people signed one petition asking the judge to reconsider. Colorado Governor Jared Polis eventually did intervene, commuting the sentence to 10 years. That runaway truck ramp on I-70 that the driver missed is still under construction. Today, Sky 9 took a look at the Mount Vernon emergency truck ramp. CDOT says they're rebuilding it to give truckers multiple ways to enter the ramp and feel more comfortable if they have to use it.
Right now, Colorado has the 2nd lowest gas prices in the whole country. You might want to take advantage because that likely will not last. Here are some of the prices in our state right now. In Boulder, prices sit at about $3.08 a gallon. In Denver, about $3.11. 2 cents higher in Fort Collins. And we're seeing these low prices because we're coming to the end of winter ski tourism season and low demand. But prices will start going up soon thanks to the federal mandates for reformulated gas. In the summertime, the EPA requires reformulated gas, which burns more cleanly to help cut down on emissions. The EPA summer rule starts June 1st. AAA says we could see an increase of 20 to 30 cents all the way through mid-September. One of Colorado's greatest athletes ever was back home today to be honored by her high school.
Talking about Missy Franklin, the 5-time Olympic gold medalist, returning to Regis. Our Ashley Moore is there now. Ashley, tell us more about what happened today's ceremony.
Yeah, so Missy Franklin, I mean, y'all talk about her being a great Colorado athlete, but I remember watching her graduating high school, winning the London Olympics, and now it's a full circle moment. But Regis Jesuit is celebrating 20 years since their women's division was opened, and with this pool dedication, hey, this is the highlight of that anniversary. But listen, what better athlete to name the pool after than Missy Franklin? Now, for those of you who don't know, Missy Franklin was still in high school when she won 4 of her 5 gold medals, and then she'd go on to win the 3rd state title for the Regis Jesuit girls swimming team. Now today, she met with both boys and girls swim teams and personally handed the Missy Franklin Athlete of the Year award to Hannah Beliebe. Y'all know who that is. And while the rest of the world knows her as Missy, Missy Franklin says the reason why this moment is so special because here at Regis Jesuit, they just know her as Missy.
This school gave me a sisterhood, it gave me family, and it gave me 4 years of an opportunity to learn the kind of woman that I wanted to be, not just in the water, but even more importantly, out of the water. And I reflect so strongly on the time that I had here and looking out, knowing that you are all getting that same experience.
Well, she also created a scholarship for students who can't afford to go to Regis Jesuit, because we all can't, but for students who can't afford to go to Regis Jesuit to come here. So she's just doing more and more for her community. But hey, y'all, I'm starstruck. I got to admit it. I am starstruck. So are these students. But I mean, what an awesome experience for these young student athletes to meet an Olympian like Missy Franklin.
20 years. Goes by fast.
See, sure does. How neat for her. It's fun to see, like, you know, where people come from, their roots, and honoring her. And
a lot of people here actually have known her from Go. You watched her from afar as a young lady, but a lot of people here saw her swim. She became a star when she was, 8, 10, 12 years old.
A kid.
I mean, full circle moment. Like I said, this is crazy. I'm just a year older than her, and she's already retired. Put that into perspective.
You're next, Ashley.
Thanks, Ashley.